Hello and welcome again to the Big York Pub Quiz. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I'm Alex Light, York alumni 2013 to 16, as long ago as that was. And tonight I've even dug out my old University Radio York hoodie from all those years ago. I think this is a 2014 one. Just to present to you this week's quiz. This month's quiz. Thank you to all the returning teams. I've seen a few familiar names in there. We've got over 100 people playing today, which is really exciting. Tonight we are raising money for the York Opportunity Scholarship. There's loads of stuff on the page about it. That's if you haven't already been there, go to the UStart page, the ustart.hubbub.net/p/York-pub.quiz. I think that's where most of you are watching anyway. And you'll be able to read up some more about the York Opportunity Scholarship there. We're going to give it 5 minutes just to make sure that everyone is logged on and they are all tuned in, and then we're going to get on with the quiz. We've got 5 rounds this evening of 10 questions, 50 points up for grabs, and who knows what can happen. See you in a minute. Welcome back to the Big York Pub Quiz. As you all know, hopefully by now, I'm Alex Light, and I'm here to take you through your quiz this evening, raising money for the York Opportunity Scholarship. We've got a nice big target of £1,100 this evening, which is, of course, the amount of money that it costs to cover 1 year of the scholarship. So why not set that as a target? Good thing tonight is, of course, that every pound that you put in is being matched by a group of donors as well. So every pound that you put in is worth £2. So if that doesn't encourage you to donate, I don't know what will. Thank you to everyone that has returned. Thank you to new teams as well. If anyone is new, the way this works is really simple. If you've registered for the quiz in advance, then your team leader should have a link to a form that they can fill in. What we're going to do is we've got 5 rounds. I will go through the rounds and then go through them again, but with the answers. You'll be expected to mark your own answers. I mean, there's no monetary prize, so don't cheat. And when you've got that mark, your team leader will put that in the thing they should have in their email and send that back to us. And we'll collate a leaderboard after each round, and then eventually at the end of the night tell you who has won. So, without further ado, I can see that we've got about the right amount of people joined in. So, I think we'll keep going with round 1. So, round 1 is a bit of a mix of current affairs and just general knowledge, basically like this entire quiz is tonight. I would like to say it was more themed and streamlined, but it's not. It's just a very good, broad pub quiz. Question number 1, and we're starting with a sports question. The Premier League returned this week, behind closed doors, but can you name one of the 2 teams who played in the first match? That's question number 1. The Premier League returned this week behind closed doors, but can you name one of the 2 teams who played in the first match? Question number 2. Which has a greater landmass, Scotland or the Isle of Ireland? So that's question 2. Which has a greater landmass, Scotland or the Isle of Ireland? And I just realised that I didn't actually put my video on for any of that. Hi, hopefully you all heard it though. Well, we're moving from Pub Quiz Radio to Pub Quiz TV now, with question number 3. Weevil, ballista and ladybird are all types of what? That's question 3. Weevil, ballista and ladybird are all types of what? Question number 4 of round 1. Carrauntoohil is the highest mountain in which country? That's Carrauntoohil, spelled Carrauntoohil, is the highest mountain in which country? Question number 5. Tots TV was a very popular TV show when I was a kid. Tom, Tilly and Tiny were 2 of the Tots, but who was the 3rd? That's question 5. Tots TV was the best TV show when I was a kid, but Tom, Tilly... Oh, I gave away the answer. We'll scrap that one. Tom and Tilly were 2 of the Tots, but who was the 3rd? And if you were listening very, very carefully, you probably already got it. That's why you should never try and do 2 things at once. Oh well, if anyone gets less than 1 on this round, I'll be very disappointed. Question 6. The Stonewall Riot started nearly 51 years ago, but from what type of place did they take the name Stonewall from? That's question 6. The Stonewall Riot started nearly 51 years ago, but from what type of place did they take the name Stonewall from? Question 7. What's the official title of the minister that leads the Treasury? That's in the UK. So that's question 7. What's the official title of the minister that leads the Treasury? Question number 8. Syngenous phobia is the fear of what? That's question 8. Syngenosphobia is the fear of what? That's Syngeneso phobia. It's the fear of what? Question 9. Which BBC radio station is older? Is it BBC Radio 2 or BBC Radio 3? It's question 9. Which BBC radio station is older? BBC Radio 2 or BBC Radio 3? And finally, question number 10. What country has the highest cost for a loaf of bread on average in the world? Someone did do a survey on this. So that's question 10. What country has the highest cost for a loaf of bread on average? Going to give you a few seconds now just to deliberate those answers. And I hope you've got your marking pens ready. Like I said before, if your team leader can mark these and then send in the scores on the Google form after, and then we will collate them all in the centre and tell you who's in the lead. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I gave away one of the answers to this already, so everyone's going to get at least 1 out of 10 if you were listening. So question 1, the Premier League returned this week. But can you name one of the 2 teams who played in the first match to return? You could either have Aston Villa or Sheffield United. It's only 1 point available, so you don't get 2 points if you put both. So Aston Villa or Sheffield United. Question number 2. The place that has the greater landmass is the Isle of Ireland. It's actually got a bigger surface area than Scotland when you put it together. Question 3. Weevil, blister and ladybird are all types of beetle. And question 4. That mountain can be found in Ireland. There you go. Just throws you off when you got the same answer for 2 questions on one quiz round. Question number 5, and I'm pretty sure I said it already, but tiny was the third tot. Well done if you got that. And question 6. Stonewall took their name from a bar. Question 7, I'm being kind here. The minister that leads the Treasury is called the Chancellor of the Exchequer. However, if you want to be really pedantic, technically the Prime Minister is First Lord of the Treasury, so I will also accept Prime Minister. Question number 8. Syngenosphobia is the fear of your own relatives. Question 9. BBC Radio 2 is older, but only by 2.5 hours. They both launched on the same day, but Radio 2 started at 5:30 in the morning. And finally, the country that has the highest cost for a loaf of bread is Switzerland. Switzerland has the most expensive bread in the world, on average. So, team leaders, if you can get those scores into us, like I said, check your email that you used to register with, and you should be able to do that fairly easily. And we will be back in a couple of minutes once we've got all of them in. Remember, in the time that we're not asking you questions, that's the perfect time to do some donations. It only takes a couple of minutes to do, and the money that you give is really, really appreciated and will directly benefit your students as well. So it's a really great way of doing it. And like I said earlier, every pound is being matched. So you put £1 in and somebody else is putting another pound in for you. So give as much as you can if you're in a position to. And we'll see you in a bit with round 2. Last chance to get your scores in now. We'll kick off the quiz again in 2 minutes. Thank you everyone for getting those quiz scores in, and thank you as well to the people that use that break to donate as well. Happy to say we managed to get up to a grand total of £236 already tonight, which is incredible. Like I said before, you can hit the sponsor button on there. Only takes a couple of seconds really. And all the money that you give is going to go straight back to York students. So if you are in a position to give some, even if it's only £1 or £2, that is being doubled by a group of donors as well. So a quick look at the scores, and we had 2 teams on 8. So the Thieves of Fief Lane and Mills, the ones to beat at the moment with 8 out of 10 on that last round. The Flaxman Flu Dodgers, Crocker Dumplings and Climbing the Wall all on 7, and a good four teams on 6 behind. So you know, there's still a lot to play for. There's no clear leaders, there's no 100% after the first round. And we're going to go into round 2, which is a music round. Look, I love a good music round, so this one is one of my favourites to do. Again, 10 questions, 10 answers. Let's see how you get on. Question number 1. Bruce Springsteen recorded the album Nebraska all by himself. But what type of tape recorder did he use? Was it a 4-track recorder or an 8-track? That's question 1. Bruce Springsteen recorded the album Nebraska all by himself. But on what type of tape recorder? Was it a 4-track or an 8-track? Question 2. Who went to number 1 in 1979 with the track Our Friends Electric? That's question 2. Who went to number 1 in 1979 with the track Our Friends Electric? and I'm going to be very specific about awarding points to this, so the wording for that question is very important. For those of you also keeping half an eye on football, it's still 0-0. Question number 3. Which wrinkly topless boy's real name is James Newell Osterberg Jr.? That's question 3. Which wrinkly topless boy's real name is James Newell Osterberg Jr.? That's actually quite a good hint as well, because that is very much on brand for him, especially near the later parts of his career, which is still going. Question number 4. These are lyrics from which song? But he moved a million hearts in mono. Our mothers cried, sang along, who'd blame them? You're grown, you're grown. Now I must say more than ever. Are lyrics from what song? I'll say them again. But he moved a million hearts in mono. Our mothers cried, sang along, who'd blame them? You're grown, so grown. Now I must say more than ever. It's a really tricky one, that, because his voice does not sound anything like mine. Question number 5. There's a Paul Simon album that's named after which famous rock and roll star's home? And just to make it clear here, we want the name of the star, not the home. So question 5. There is a Paul Simon album which is named after a famous rock and roll star's home. But whose home? Question 6. The UEFA Champions League anthem is heavily based upon which anthem by Handel? That's question 6. The UEFA Champions League anthem is heavily based upon which anthem by Handel? Question number 7. Which band share their name with the famous catchphrase of a fictional radio disc jockey? That's question 7. Which band share their name with the famous catchphrase of a fictional radio disc jockey? Question number 8. Who wrote the Bangles hit Manic Monday? That's question 8. Who wrote the Bangles hit Manic Monday? Question 9. Which brand of butter would you find Sex Pistols frontman Johnny Rotten promoting? Probably about 10 years ago, but still holds. Question 9. Which brand of butter would you find Sex Pistols frontman Johnny Rotten promoting? And finally, for the music round, question number 10. Which city was the home and spawned the career of the bands The Bee Gees, Elbow and Simply Red? That's question 10. Which city was the home and spawned the careers of the bands The Bee Gees, Elbow and Simply Red? Same as last round, I'm going to go through the answers now, Team leaders, once you have marked yours, do send them back in. And then once we've got them all in, we'll kick off with round number 3. So question 1, Bruce Springsteen recorded the album Nebraska all on a 4-track recorder, not an 8-track, 4-track recorder. Question 2, and I'm going to be very, very specific with the marking here. The band that went to number 1 in 1979 were Tubeway Army. Now, there are some people will have put Gary Newman and Tubeway Army, or they might have put Gary Newman, but the band was Tubeway Army. It was then re-released as a Gary Newman track, but in 1979 it was Tubeway Army. Question number 3, the wrinkly topless boy is of course Iggy Pop. Question 4, the lyrics from the song "But He Moved a Million Hearts in Mono, Our Mothers Cried, Sang Along, Who Blamed Them?" It's a Willow hit. It's "Come On Eileen" by Dexy's Midnight Runners. Only 1 point though, so you just need the song title. Question 5, there's a Paul Simon album named after the famous home of Elvis Presley. The album's called Graceland. Question 6, the UEFA Champions League anthem is heavily based upon Zadok the Priest, which you'd also hear at coronations. Question 7, the band that share their name, with the famous catchphrase of a fictional radio disc jockey, is of course, Aha. I don't think that's where they got it from, but there you go. Question number 8, the person that wrote the Bangles hit Manic Monday was Prince. Just like everything, he seemed to write everything for a while. Question 9, you would find Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols selling Country Life butter. And finally, question 10, the city that you would associate with the Bee Gees, Elbow and Simply Red was Manchester. Like I said before, team leaders, get those questions in, and in the break, if you can chuck a couple of quid in to help the York Opportunity Scholarship, that would be incredible. Every £1 that you give is being matched as well. So there's no reason not to, unless you can't. But yeah, do get those in, get your scores in, and also try and get some, get some cash in as well. It really will help some of the most needy students at York to thrive. Once we've got all the scores in, we'll go on with round 3, another general knowledge one. See you in a bit. Going to start again in 1 minute, so if you haven't got your scores in, now's the chance. And welcome back. Another quick look at the scores, and one team has finally pulled out in front. Crocker Dumplings are on 15 points after a very respectable score in that last round. Tricky round there. It's a very tricky music round. 100% designed to just really wind people up. So well done if you did get a good score on that. I'm just going to double check, but no perfect scores. Only one score of 8. Some real music fans there, I hope. Crocker Dumplings, you're at the top of the leaderboard, 15. Climbing the Wall and Thief Lane and Mills just below you on 14 and 13 points. And the Flaxman Flu Dodgers, currently the highest rated team of current students, in 4th place on 12 points. Well, the next round is, I hope, somewhat simpler. It's actually all a true or false round as well. So, you know, you got a 50% chance of getting it right, even if you're guessing, right? So, without further ado, we'll crack on with that. So, round 3, true or false? Question number 1. The capital city of Kazakhstan is Astana. True or false? The capital city of Kazakhstan is Astana. True or false? Question 2. Colonel Sanders, or Harland David Sanders, to give its full name, was a real colonel in the US military. True or false? So that's question 2. Colonel Sanders was a real colonel in the US military. True or false? Question 3. In 2016, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart sold more CDs than Adele. True or false? So that's question 3. In 2016, Mozart sold more CDs than Adele. True or false? Again, a massive thank you to everyone that has supported. I've just checked an eye on the total as well, and we've gone up to £316. Be great if that could hit the 500 by the end of tonight. Great if it could go even higher. Question number 4. According to the US presidential line of succession, next in line after the vice president would be the Secretary of State. True or false? That's question 4. According to the US presidential line of succession, the next in line after the vice president would be the Secretary of State. True or false? Question 5. Elon Musk, when he's not launching rockets into space, owns the drilling company which is digging massive tunnels underneath New York City for future transportation? That's question 5. Elon Musk also owns the drilling company which is digging massive tunnels underneath New York City. True or false? Question 6. The most expensive cheese in the world comes from Serbia. True or false? It's question 6. The most expensive cheese in the world comes from Serbia. True or false? Remember, if you do need any repeats of questions, if you click the Updates tab once the round is finished, you should be able to see them there. Question 7. Under Chairman Mao, every Chinese family was obliged to kill a sparrow a week to stop them eating all the rice. True or false? That's number 7. Under Chairman Mao, every Chinese family was obliged to kill a sparrow a week to stop them eating all the rice. True or false? Question number 8. Norway has the highest number of metal bands per capita. True or false? It's question 8. Norway has the highest number of metal bands per capita. True or false? Question number 9. In 2008, a man was arrested in Ohio for having sex with a picnic table. True or false? That's question 9. In 2008, a man was arrested in Ohio for having sex at a picnic table. True or false? And finally, question number 10. Durex once printed flyers that had pregnancy tests built in. The advert said, "Peeing on this ad may change your life." True or false? That's question 10. Durex once printed flyers that had pregnancy tests built in. The advert said, "Peeing on this ad may change your life." True or false? I'll give you another couple of seconds just to think about that before we go through the answers. And remember, every £1 that you do give tonight is being doubled by a group of donors as well. So everything you can put in doubles to the students at York, which is brilliant. So the answers to round number 3. Question number 1, the capital city of Kazakhstan is Astana, is false. Astana used to be the capital. And I'm trying to remember now, I think it's 2018 that it changed. Around that, 2017, 2018. Question number 2, the answer again is false. Colonel Sanders was not a real general, real colonel in the US military. Question number 3, in 2016, Mozart sold more CDs than Adele. That's true. Mozart sold more CDs, mostly because of a 40 CD box set that was released. Although Adele was the highest selling artist of that year. Question 4. According to the US presidential line of succession, the next in line after the vice president would be the Secretary of State, is false. The next in line after the vice president is actually the Speaker of the House. Question 5 as well is false. Elon Musk does not own the drilling company digging massive tunnels under New York, but he does own the boring company digging massive tunnels under LA. Question 6, the most expensive cheese in the world does come from Serbia. That's true. As is number 7. Under Chairman Mao, every Chinese family was obliged to kill a sparrow a week to stop them eating all the rice. is true. Question number 8. Norway has the highest number of metal bands per capita is false. It's Finland that has the highest number of metal bands per capita. And question 8 is true. True. Durex. A man was arrested for having sex with a picnic table in Ohio. And finally, question number 10 is false. Durex never printed flyers that said peeing on this ad may change your life. IKEA did. IKEA built in pregnancy tests into some of their marketing, which is very clever if you sell things that you might need for a bigger house. As always, team captains, if you can get those scores into us as quickly as possible before we move on to round 4. Again, it's another general knowledge round. It's a real mix here. I wanted to try and keep it as diverse as we could to see what weird and interesting scores we could get. Okay, and remember, if you do have time in the break, chuck a couple of quid into the fundraiser. All of it's being doubled and it goes straight towards York students who will really, really benefit from it. See you in a bit. And the scores are in again. Thank you to everyone for getting those in so quickly. Crocodumplings still leading on 22 points, climbing the wall just behind them. Flaxman Flu Dodgers, you've jumped up a point from 4th place to 3rd. Only 3 points are in the top 2 teams, and currently on about 22 out of 30 as the highest scoring team. So, yeah, 20 points still to get, and a lot of general knowledge questions coming up at you as well. So, if the last couple of rounds haven't been your thing, I'm sure there'll be something in there for you now. So we're going to go straight on to round 4. Another big thank you to everyone that has donated so far as well. We're up to £316 now, which is a great amount of money. It'd be amazing if we could get that much closer to 500 before the night is out. As was said earlier, all the donations are being doubled by a group of donors. So, don't waste the chance to spend somebody else's money for a good cause as well as your own. Right, on to round 4, another general knowledge round. We're going pure pub quiz on this tonight. So, question number 1. Which animals are shown videos of their own species mating to ensure successful breeding? That's question 1. Which animals are shown videos of their own species mating to ensure successful breeding? Question 2. How many toppings are on a Chicago-style hot dog? That's question 2. How many toppings are on a Chicago-style hot dog? Question 3. How many functioning stations are there on the London Underground network? That's question 3. How many functioning stations are there on the London Underground network? And we're going with the official TfL verdict on this as well. So, question 4 is another one as well if you're into your London-based transport systems. What name is going to be given to the new TfL Crossrail line when it becomes operational? That's question 4. What name is going to be given to the new TfL Crossrail line when it becomes operational on the network? Maybe at some point in the next 5 years. And question 5, if trains aren't your thing, maybe books are. Name the 4 March sisters in Little Women. I'm going to be really mean here and say you need all 4 to get the points. So that's question 5. Name the 4 March sisters in Little Women. And question 6, another train one, because of course York is home to the National Railway Museum, where this train lies. So another one here, question 6, which steam train, which shares its name with a bird, holds the world record speed for a steam train set at 126 miles an hour in 1936? And as I said, it's actually in York. So question 6, which steam train, which shares its name with a bird, holds the world record speed for a steam train 126 miles an hour set in 1936? Question number 7. Who has won the most Oscars in history? That's question 7. Who has won the most Oscars in history? Question number 8. Which classic horror was the first film to controversially show a toilet flushing on screen? That's question 8. Which classic horror was the first film to controversially show a toilet flushing on screen? Question number 9. How many films have Al Pacino and Robert De Niro starred in together? That's question 9. How many films have Al Pacino and Robert De Niro starred in together? Finally, for this round, question 10. What is the name of the Netflix show inspired by the 6th branch of the US Armed Forces? That's question 10. What's the name of the Netflix show? Notice I didn't say hit Netflix show there. Inspired by the 6th branch of the US Armed Forces. And hopefully you've got all of those answers at least somewhere right, and you're ready to get them marked. So question 1, which animals are shown videos of their own species mating to ensure successful breeding, is of course the panda, giant panda specifically, but anything panda related will do. Question number 2, there are 7 toppings on a Chicago style hot dog. I believe one of them is actually the dog. Question number 3. There are currently 270 functioning stations on the London Underground network. If you got anywhere between 260 and 280, you can have a point. Question number 4. The name of the Crossrail line is going to be the Elizabeth line, another monarch-related one. Question number 5, like I said, I was easy on the stations on the London Underground, but this one you need all 4 names. They are, of course, Meg, Jo, Amy and Beth are the 4 March sisters in Little Women. Question 6, I haven't got numbers on, which is really throwing me off. Question 6, the fastest steam train is, of course, the Mallard. And if you do want to go and see it, when it's all safe to do so, it's in the National Railway Museum in York. Question number 7. Who has won the most Oscars in history? That is, of course, Walt Disney. Walt Disney himself, actually. Question number 8. The first film to show a flushing toilet on screen was Psycho in 1960. Question 9. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro have starred in 4 films together. And finally, question 10. The Netflix show inspired by the 6th branch of the US Armed Forces is Space Force, set up by George W. Bush and then reinvigorated by Donald Trump, of course. Team captains, you've done so good at it all night. Yeah, I don't even need to tell you what to do again. Get those scores in. For the last time, because the next round is going to be our last round, we'll be back once those scores are in. And remember, it doesn't cost us to put this on, but just like you would normally chuck in £2 to play a pub quiz at home, if you can throw in a couple of pounds to help us get closer to that £500 target tonight, then it's going in a better place than a Quizmaster's pocket for once. So do that if you can. Until then, get your answers in, and we'll be back with round 5 very shortly. And as we go into the final round, thank you again to everyone that's donated. Crocker Dumplings up at the top of the leaderboard still. They've held on to that since the second round. 29 out of a possible 40. But the Flaxman Flu Dodgers have climbed another place. I do believe they were the highest ranked team last time we did this as well. Up on 27 points, so just 2 points away from it. Thieves of Thieve Lane, 26, climbing the wall on 25. The Mighty Robins on 23, alongside Free Do a Quiz. Mills on 21. Agatha Christie on 20, along with Thea Mark. Four to be reckoned with, and the Famous Five, both on 19. Quizzy and Lockdown and Alters on 17. The Spooners on 16. Pandemic at the Disco, ooh, good one, 13 points. Surtees Champions on 10. And the Barties are on 6. So, there's a lot can happen in the next round. I really want to see if Flaxman Flu Dodgers continue this trend of rising up one place on the leaderboard of every round, because if they do that, they will clinch a big last minute win. Like, there's nothing better than winning, apart from when it's a last minute winner. Unfortunately, I just wish Chelsea hadn't done that to my football team earlier today. So onwards and upwards, though, onto our final round of this term's quiz, I suppose. June is soon to be over, and the quiz is about to be as well. So on to round number 5. It's another general knowledge round. There's a bit more sort of history in this as well. So if history is your bag, this might be good for you. So question number 1. Who directed the 2010 film Submarine? That's question number 1. Who directed the 2010 film Submarine? Question number 2. In which city is Ho Chi Minh preserved? That's question 2. In which city is Ho Chi Minh preserved? And it looks like we stayed on, despite the fact all my electrics just flashed, which is always good. Question number 3. The large Piccadilly Circus adverts have been a London landmark for quite a while. But in which year did the first ad created with light bulbs appear? That's question 3. In which year did the first adverts created with light bulbs appear in Piccadilly Circus? Question number 4. Jorge Mario Bergoglio is a head of state in Europe and a notable public figure. But by what name is he most commonly known? That's question 4. Too much to pronounce this time of our Sunday. Jorge Mario Bergoglio is the head of state in Europe and a notable public figure. But by which name is he most commonly known? Question number 5. Who is the patron saint of Nigeria? That's question 5. Who is the patron saint of Nigeria? Question number 6. On which date did the 21st century start? That's question 6. On which date did the 21st century start? Question 7. What is the name of the strait in the Caribbean between Haiti and Cuba? That's question 7. What's the name of the strait in the Caribbean between Haiti and Cuba? Question 8. What is the smallest country in the world? That's question 8. What is the smallest country in the world? Question 9. What is the capital of Madagascar? That's question 9. What is the capital of Madagascar? And finally, question number 10. American alternative rock band Veruca Salt are named after a character in which classic children's book? That's question 10. American alt rock band Veruca Salt are named after a character in which children's book? Again, bit of variety in those questions, so hopefully you got a couple right. But now we'll find out. Here are the answers. Question 1. Who directed the 2010 film Submarine? Is of course Richard Ayoade, or Moss from the IT crowd as most people know him. Question 2. The city which Ho Chi Minh is preserved is Hanoi. Question 3. The large Piccadilly Circus adverts have been there for a while now. So the year that you're looking for, the first advert created with light bulbs appeared in 1908. Question 4, I will not butcher the pronunciation of his name again, but that person is most commonly known as Pope Francis. I'll accept the Pope as well. Question 5, the patron saint of Nigeria is St. Patrick. Question 6, on which date did the 21st century start? It started on the 1st of January 2001. Question 7, the name of the strait between Haiti and Cuba is Windward Passage. And question number 8, the smallest country in the world is the Vatican City. Question 9, the capital of Madagascar is Antananarivo. And finally, question number 10, Veruca Salt, of course, take their name from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So, total up your scores, team leaders, get them in. Another very quick break, your last chance to get some donations in as well, if you can do that. If you enjoyed the quiz, do drop us a tweet using the hashtag that you see above my head, at Big York Pub Quiz, and do tag at UOI alumni in that as well. Thank you all for playing tonight. Hold on for another 5 minutes or so, and I'll tell you who has won tonight's quiz. Hello and welcome back one final time tonight. A quick glance over the website shows me that we have indeed raised a grand total of £316 tonight, which is absolutely brilliant. All that money going towards the York Opportunity Scholarship. Thank you to everyone that has donated. If you want to get a last minute one in there as well, then do feel free. We're not going to stop you. But the scores are in. So, from the bottom of the leaderboard to the top. The Bartrees were last place on 6 points, although I don't think they played every round. And what I think might be the real last place was the Surtees Champions in 14 points. Pandemic at the Tesco, 16 points. Lockdown and Outers just above them on 18. The Spooners on 19 points. Quizzy came in on 20. Four to be reckoned with, 23 points. Free Do a Quiz on 29 points. Just noticed a little bit of a... Let me just... there we go. That should hopefully fix that. I forgot to order all of the quiz things, didn't I? So that was actually the order of the last round, but there's not much to there. Quizzy, fourth to be reckoned with. Free Do Theo Mark on 24 points, alongside Mills. The Famous Five on 25 points. Agatha Christie on 26 points. The Mighty Robins on 28. And now we're into the top five. So our top of the leaderboard. So on 29 points, there are two teams on 29 points. So it's sort of 4th/5th place, depending on how you want to throw it. Climbing the Wall and Free Do a Quiz. Well done, 29 points. The Thieves of Thief Lane coming in 3rd place on 30 points. Crocker Dumplings, they lost their lead. It's 32 points. And well done, massive well done to the Flaxman Flu Dodgers, who did continue the trend. They started off in 4th at the end of round 2. They're now at 34 points in 1st place after what must have been a pretty perfect last round. So well done them. I suppose all that's left to say is thank you all for playing tonight, and thank you again for your really generous donations that are going to help really sort of good causes at York. I've just seen that in the time that I've been talking, it's jumped up another £60 to nearly £400 now. 75% the way to our £500 target, so if you do have the ability to, I want to top that up. And you've enjoyed yourself tonight, hopefully you will. I've been Alex, and I hope you've enjoyed your quiz time. Like I said, drop us a tweet with the hashtag above, and stay safe and take care. Bye.